Hi, I'm B News producer Sydney Bowles, and I'm here to welcome you to the BCAT Housing Authority Forum for the 2024 election cycle. Now, BCAT typically hosts debates for contested races, and this 3-year Housing Authority seat is in fact contested. But after we invited both candidates, Eileen Sickler and Walter DeCost declined our invitation. We decided to hold a forum just with Eileen to talk about her candidacy. So, with that said, Eileen Sickler, thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
So, first of all, I just want to offer you a little bit of an opportunity to introduce yourself, maybe talk about your history in local government and your interest in this position.
Sure. Well, there's a lot there. So let's see. About myself, I'm a retired CPA. I've been in town for about 40 years, and I sort of have a non-traditional background in terms of my education. I didn't start college until I was in my late 20s. I went to Bentley, I got my accounting degree, and then earned my CPA, and then went on to work at PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the largest accounting consulting firms. In terms of local, and yes, I put myself through school. It was all summer school and night school. So let's see, what else? In terms of local governance and when I started, it was about 22 years ago. I was a library trustee for about 12 years. I'm a big time reader. So I did that for 12 years and then rolled off that and was on the Rules Committee, Transportation Committee, and then most recently Vice Chair of the Housing Partnership Committee. I also, with this candidacy, I rolled off of being a very active town meeting member for 9 years. And currently I'm serving my 5th term on the Audit Committee. In terms of, if that wasn't enough fun, what I do for fun is, let's see, so we were just talking about my dog. I just got a new puppy, and I've been in a dog agility club for many years. So,
that's so fun.
So there's 2 dogs, and so we do agility with those guys. I'm in a book club, and I'm in a golf league, garden club. I'm sure I'm missing something else.
So you have hobbies, is what you're saying.
Stock club. I've been in that for 25 years and I love it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Why the Housing Authority? Why is this the one that you want to run for?
Well, you know, Cindy, it feels like a natural extension to me after the time I spent on the Housing Partnership. Also, I've been to several of their meetings over the last few years, as have other people that I know, and the general consensus is it needs some energy. It needs a shot in the arm, and I think I can bring that energy and some new ideas, particularly based on all the time I've served on the various committees in town, and also my professional background.
Okay. What do you think is the main issue going on with the Housing Authority, and why are you the one to address it? The
main issue? I'm not sure I really can answer that until I'm in there and I see, but what I do know from studying some published reports is that, for instance, it takes them a lot longer to fill a vacant unit, almost twice what the state requires. So that's an issue because, I mean, obviously you want those units filled as fast as possible for someone to find a home as well as to receive the rent. I also feel like there's something missing in accounting or financial reporting. There was again, I don't want to get wonky, but there was a reserve that should have been spent down and I think was not noticed until it got published in this annual plan. And I think had there been proper and timely accounting, that wouldn't have happened.
Okay. One of the main priorities of the Housing Authority is making sure that authority staff are maintaining the units in good condition, just keeping that fleet up to date. How would you make sure that those units are kept in good shape and on budget?
Well, you know, a board member doesn't get actively involved in the day-to-day operations, obviously. That's for the executive director. So I would work with the executive director to see if, you know, what challenges she has and what we can do to expedite that. And if a maintenance person is out on vacation or out sick or what have you, there are other ways that help can be obtained, either through some state teams that are assigned to each local housing authority, or you borrow one from Winchester or something like that. So I would work with the executive director.
Okay.
Yeah.
We know that there's a significant shortage of affordable housing in Burlington. You know this from your work on the Housing Partnership. How do you see the role of the Housing Authority in the broader picture of affordable housing shortage, if that makes sense?
Well, let's just be clear what the distinction is. There's affordable housing and there's public housing. And the Housing Authority is just that. It's a local public housing authority versus affordable. So affordable is meant for, it provides the ability for moderate income families and individuals to rent or buy a home at a slightly less than fair market value. Versus public housing is a subsidized situation where the residents pay a small portion of their income, and the state, in this case, subsidizes the balance. And it's an interesting thing. I've learned that Massachusetts is only one of 4 states in the country that has state subsidies. All the other states are federally subsidized. So again, there's a distinction between affordable and public housing. And in that public housing, we have about a little over 100 units up on Birchcrest. And whereas affordable, you know, those units are sitting in the, Northwest Park, Huntington, Tremont, and other places in town.
Okay. And then, you know, one of the challenges facing housing authorities beyond Burlington, sort of in the nation, in Massachusetts, is generally a graying of the fleet, so to speak. These tend to be older units.
Yes.
What, if anything, can be done to ensure that our fleet of affordable housing through the Housing Authority remains viable for decades to come?
The units up on Birchcrest, Tower Hill, and the 4 buildings, Birchcrest Arms, I believe they were built in 1970, 1980 respectively, if I have those dates right between them. And the state actually comes out and does an audit on the properties. They have this, I think, crazy, and again, this is just from me doing research, they have this formula saying if this building, you know, was built in, you know, X years, X date, then they have it on their calendar that come 20 years, something is probably likely to go, the roof, what have you. And so the state comes out and does audits. But again, they have this formula that sort of is all teed up. And so they're aware of, for the most part, you know, about major building issues. Yeah.
Okay. And then before we wrap, I do just want to speak to a little bit the elephant in the room, the fact that this is a contested race. Your opponent isn't here. He's not able to speak for himself, although I will say to the audience at home, we sent yourself and Wally DeCost the same set of questions to answer, and both of those responses are on our website, so folks at home can definitely go check that out. So with acknowledging that Walter's not able to speak for himself in this conversation, I did just want to say if you want to address anything about the fact that this is a contested race and you do have a competitor who was appointed to the board late last year.
Well, it's unfortunate that he elected not to come, yes. The only thing I know about my opponent is that he's a retired fireman. One thing that we have in common is we're both north of 70. And he's only been on the board, I think, for about 6 months. So it's unfortunate that he couldn't come. I don't know what else to say about that, except it's too bad. Because I think that it's an important role, an important position, and that the people deserve to know. There's one thing about text and reading something about a person, but it's another one to sit and talk and understand, how they're feeling and their goals and what have you. Yeah.
Fantastic. And again, just to reiterate, folks at home can go read responses from Walter DeCost to a set of questions on our website. Eileen Sickler, those are my questions for you. I wonder if there's anything else you'd want to say to the viewers at home before we wrap up?
I guess I'd just like to say that this is a good time for housing. because of the push, both in state and federal, there are a lot of funds out there to be had, especially with Governor Healy's, I think it's called the Affordable Homes Act, that happened last fall, well over $150 million specifically targeted to public housing. So there's that opportunity. What else? I know there's something else. So there's the money, and I just think that now's the time for a change to get some energy in there and bring some fresh ideas. And also, we have a new executive director, and I've met Paula. She's great, and I'm looking forward to working with her. There have been, I think, 4 executive directors in 7 years. So obviously that's a poor reflection on the board and doesn't serve the residents well. But in any event, I'm looking forward to working with Paula and doing some good things over there.
Great. Eileen Sickler, thank you very much.
Thank you. And one more thing, I respectfully ask for your vote for the Housing Authority, for a seat on the Housing Authority on April the 6th.
Okay, that has been a BCAT candidate forum for the position of Housing Authority. It's a 3-year position. The election's coming up, as Eileen said, on April 6th. Once again, this is a contested seat. The current incumbent, Walter DeCost, declined our invitation to be here. Thank you very much for watching. Keep tuning in to BCAT's coverage of this election cycle. I'm Sydney Bowles. Thanks for watching.